Hello, how are you? And thank you for being here. So if you were on the call last night, you'll notice this is a little different. If you weren't on the call last night, you won't even know this is different. But I wanted to just re-record from our call last night so I could tighten it up and shorten it up a little bit. So today what I'm going to do is walk you through the trips coming up in 2023. I'm going to give you the level of fitness needed for each one. I'm going to tell you how we get you ready for that. And if you have questions, you can either reach out to me via email. You can leave comments in the YouTube comments. You can, if you got my phone number, text me, or easiest thing to do is you're going to find throughout your travel catalog, there's a place to just get on my calendar and ask me questions. That's usually the easiest way you want to do this. And just so you know, a lot of times these trips fill up. Let me rephrase that. These trips always fill up. A lot of times they fill up pretty quickly. So if you have questions about a trip, ask sooner than later. Okay. So today I'm going to walk you through the catalog and just give you a little rundown on what we're up to. So here we go. All right. So that first picture is Portugal, and I'm going to talk to you about Portugal in a minute. But first, let's talk about our upcoming trip number one. And when you receive this digital catalog, you'll be able to go through here, all the links, click through to where you need to go. You can find that link for me to get on my calendar. Anything you need, reach out to me. All right. And actually, if we haven't met before, I'm Kelly Howard. I run Fit is Freedom, which is an online and obviously offline virtual or offline adventure option where I help women go from maybe slightly concerned that they might not be able to keep up on a trip, and sometimes I even learn how to speak properly, to being able to feel comfortable and full on. And really what I'm known for is helping women with fitness consistency. I'm known as fitness consistency expert with a touch of adventure, and that's because I love bringing all this together. Because so adventure, we call it like this page is here for a reason. I know from having done this for a very, very long time that just wanting to get in shape and lose weight is not enough. Why? Like, it's like, oh gosh, another diet, another 10 pounds, whatever. That's a lot of times what we think about fitness. To me, fitness is being able to do the things you want to do and being able to do them well. Being excited about what's coming up, being excited about like all the options that we have. So to me, adventure is empowerment. All of these trips are women-only retreats. And the reason is that it just, A, it's easier to manage, or it's easier to organize is a better way of saying it when it's just women. And B, you're going to come away from these trips with this amazing camaraderie and lifelong friends every single time, I promise. So here's what we've got coming up in 2024. Our first one is dog sledding. Okay, I'm not going to click on videos, so you have to watch them, but I just want you to know that all these videos, you can watch them, they're fun. This dog sledding is when you actually drive your own sled team. And what will happen is that, well, first, you'll get to meet a lot of really cute little dogs, and we'll be flying into Duluth. You're there for 5 days. The dates are, let's jump over here to the dates right now. The dates are, you'd think I'd know. The dates are January 30th to February 4th. Excuse me about that. And I am not the event leader. You're going to be going with Jenny Fitzpatrick, who is one of our co-leaders. She is a rock star and she does an amazing job. On this dog sledding event, things you should know. There will be, it'll be cold, obviously. A lot of the gear is included in the trip. So you won't have to go out and buy, heavy snow gear, but you will need to have the layers that you need. And don't worry about it. We have a very extensive packing list for you. So you're going to be covered. We are not camping. Don't worry about that. This is a lodge-based event. So you're staying in a very nice lodge. You go out, you meet the dogs, you learn to mush. You actually go out and sled with the dogs. And then one evening, you're doing dog sledding at night. under the stars. So this is a super cool event. And on top of everything else, and I really didn't mean that as a joke about cool, on top of everything else, you're also going to be able to go to a winter festival in Ely. So the trip has one spot left, okay? As of the recording right now, which is, I'm doing this on Thursday morning, I think the 14th, we have one spot left on this trip. It is, there's 6 people going, okay? It's a very small, limited trip, but it's going to be so much fun. So you pay for your own airfare, and you the guide tips are not included. But what is included in the cost is your dog sled team, your mush training, your accommodations, the car rental and gas, basically transportation once you land. Most meals, there will be a couple of meals up to you, but most meals are included. And then, of course, your boots, parkas, pants, mittens, all the heavy snow gear is all included. The cost of this trip is $3,550, and it is not a private. Oh wait, I'm so sorry. Let me rephrase that. This is a private room spot. We have one private room. This spot is open. So if you want to find out about this trip, you'll be able to click through to Jenny's email and let her know that you are in, and hopefully nobody beat you to it. So that's our first trip. Our second trip is going to be going to Portugal. You'll be going with me. This is something I've been wanting to do for years. I have been to Portugal in the north. Stunning, beautiful, so much fun. And I've always wanted to go to the southern tip of Portugal. And so we're heading down there this year. This trip is from a fitness standpoint. I think I completely missed it on the last one, but fitness standpoint on the last one, let's talk about that for just a second. So a lot of times you'll see on these trips, they'll be like, on a scale of 1 to 5, this is a 3, and they're all 3s. I think that's misleading. So that last trip, you're going to need to be able to walk in snow. You're going to be able to need to get down and get up to deal with the dogs. You're going to need to have some upper body strength. It's not a, oh my gosh, you've got to be a gym rat, but it is definitely something that you're not going to be sitting on your butt. Okay, that's the dog sledding. This trip, you have a little bit more opportunity to be more relaxed. Or if you want to go full out, you've got the opportunity to do that too. So what we're doing is we fly into Faro in Portugal. You will, we will, because I'm going to be there, we will be picked up by our tour guide. So we have the same tour guide throughout the entire trip. They are transporting us all over southern Portugal. We're staying in a very, very, very nice hotel. Beachfront. It's gorgeous. It's actually a spa. So you can have days to go to the spa. The spa treatments are not included in this, but you've got time to go do them. And we will be hiking. On those hikes, we will have myself, and we will have the tour guide. So we always have time. And this is something you should know about all my trips. You always have a part where you can either go harder or you can go easier. It works. We're very, very good at saying, hey, who wants to go climb to the very top of that mountain? And who wants to just like stay down here, enjoy themselves, take in the beauty, and not, not sweat all day. So I know how to do this. Been doing it forever. So you will have those opportunities. So we'll be hiking, we'll be sailing. And our sailing trip is a pretty nice boat, okay? This is not, you're not going to be out there on sunfish. We will be out there on a beautiful boat in the Bay of Largos. And then we also have, if you want to, days that you can go stand up paddleboarding. When we stand up paddleboard, there are areas where you can paddle into caves. So you're on the water, you're in these stunning caves, and it's not dark because you've got light coming in. Like you can see this picture, how that light's coming in through the very top. You've got light coming in from everywhere, but you're also like paddling through a cave. So gorgeous. So high cliffs here or on the Med, it is such a fabulous place. And we're going to also be doing, in my world, we eat. We do not go on these trips as a diet. We go on these trips and we enjoy ourselves. And what I've found again and again and again is you're going to be so active that you never have to worry about what you're eating. You're just going to be enjoying all the food and all the activity. So I'm not going to read this to you. You can read this to yourself later if you would prefer. So there's like hidden coves, there's grottos, there's festivals. This is this is a beautiful area. That's all I'm going to say. So we've got stand-up paddleboarding, we've got the cave tour, we've got sailing, we have a couple of hikes. We've got the fisherman's hike on here, and I'm going to butcher it, Manchati Mountain, but we may have an extra one. So those people who want to do extra hikes, I've got you covered. So what it includes is all our transportation on land. It's transportation from the airport and to the hotel. It includes our English-speaking guide, entrance fees, rolls, road tolls, everything, okay? It includes a lot of your meals, all the breakfasts, most of the lunches, a couple of the dinners. On this trip, we also, what's not included, international flight, okay? Your airfare is on you. There are a couple of meals that are not going to be included, dinners. Extra sightseeing. Oh, I didn't mention, we're going to go to a Roman bath. And there is a spa at the baths too. So if you're doing spa there, that personal expenses, travel visa. I don't think you need a travel visa on this one. So far, we need no visas, and travel insurance if you want. It is $28.99 right now. Okay, this is going to sound like I'm creating, fear of missing out. But the truth is that the price on this trip goes up on February 5th. February 5th, the price goes up quite a bit. So if you're interested, do it now. There is single occupancy for $36.99. Your call right now, just so you know, we have 5 spots left on this trip as of the making of this call. So also this right here is where you can get on my calendar and ask me questions. Okay, next place. We've got Jenny again. It's the San Juan Islands, kayaking and hiking the Pacific Northwest. So Jenny is originally from the Pacific Northwest. So she knows this area and she loves this area. You'll get to know Jenny. She is one of my favorite friends and one of my favorite people. And she makes an amazing trip for this one. There are only 8 people, I think, invited on this trip, or room for 8 people. And I think that out of that, we have probably 4 spots left. This is July 15th to the 22nd, which is probably the prettiest time of the year in the Pacific Northwest. So you've got, you're going to be rock solid for everything we're doing. First thing, okay, on a fitness level, you have to, this is one of those that you're going to work for. Okay, it's not a 5, it's not a 2. So we start off by kayaking for 3 days around the San Juan Islands. It is camping, okay, but don't let that turn you off, because the camping is done very well. Our guides bring all of our gear, so they provide everything for us. I think if you need a sleeping bag, it's a little, it's like $15 extra or something. But basically, they provide everything. They provide the kayaks. They're tandem kayaks, so there'll be 2 people in each boat, and the paddling there is stunning. You will see orcas. You will see seals. Like, you will see all the beauty of the Pacific Northwest, and the guides cook. So you don't have to worry about not eating. They do all the cooking, all the setup, everything. So you're good there. Once you get off the kayaking, then we drive to the coast, to the east side, and that's when the hiking begins. We are staying in a very, very, very nice house. And in that house, there's room for everybody. It's luxurious, it's comfortable. We have our own guides there, who happen to be Jenny's nephew is a gourmet cook. So he lays out some of the meals, and it's very cushy. Okay, once you get over the kayaking, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to say it that way. Once you finish kayaking, which will be work, you're going to go on these stunning hikes. There's all across the Pacific Northwest. You're in the Catskills, and it's just like, I don't know if you've been there before, but it's one of the prettiest places in the country. So here's the actual itinerary. Well, you'll be able to go through it, and when I send this out to you. But one of the people who went last year is like, she's already signed up and paid. So you'll know, like, everybody loved this trip. It is July 15th to the 22nd. There's 8 people. There's room for, I think, 4 people, I think is what I heard, left. It's $28.95. That includes all the kayaking, it includes your gear, It includes your tour guides on the kayaking. It includes your hiking. It includes your lodging. It includes most meals, and it includes transportation once you land. So getting you from the airport to the kayaking, from the kayaking to the coast, and all of the hiking. What's not included is you pay for your own flights, and I actually think the guide tips are included in this too, but let's just assume that you might have a guide tip that's $100 or something. So if you have questions, go ahead, get on my calendar, or you can email Jenny from this link when I send this out to you. This is a once in a lifetime trip. It really is. So next we have Glacier National Park. If you've never been to Glacier, yeah, well, you need to go. I'll just say that. One thing about Glacier is it did become more, well, it became more popular during the pandemic. So we've picked a very specific time where it shouldn't be that busy, and you still get all the beauty of Glacier. Plus, it's not going to be that cold. I'm not a super cold weather person, so I tend to stay out of the snow mostly. So that's why we're going to Glacier. Honest to goodness truth, that's why we're going to Glacier this time of the year. And we have our co-guide on this trip is Donna, and Donna is a friend of mine who used to live in Houston with me. She has moved up to Montana. She knows this park like the back of her hand. I've been to Glacier hiking it, I think 4 times, hiking and backpacking actually about 4 times. Donna's been about 400 times. So she's our co-leader on this one. So you're going to fly into Kalispell. And since we're leaving early morning, like 10 o'clock in the morning, you'll want to arrive the night before. Okay. And I'm going to get all this information, but just know that you'll fly in the evening before. It's a smaller airport. You're not going to find flights that are going to drop you off there at 10 in the morning. So you fly in the night before, we'll have dinner if we're in a group, and then we take off for Glacier. We'll be staying in 2 very nice locations. The first one is in the park, and the second one is closer to Big Fork. So under here, or on this trip, we'll hike for the first 3 days in Glacier. Then we'll head over to Jewel Basin, which is, it's an area that's not that traveled. So you're going to see a lot of this area that most people never see. The park is gorgeous, and your level of fitness, this is a hiking trip, okay? So you don't need to, and just so you know, we're not camping on this trip. You'll have accommodations in nice, luxurious homes, which we rental homes, VRBO. So what will happen is that you will be doing some serious hiking for at least 3 to 4 days. During those days, you carry your small day pack. So you're not, I mean, this is a picture of my backpack because it just looked cool, but you're not going to be carrying a backpack. You're going to be carrying a small day pack. And the hiking is probably, if you're from the flatlands like I am, you notice you're doing it. Okay, you definitely notice you're doing it. We're not doing any super strenuous like 12-mile hikes. We'll probably be going somewhere between 5 to 8 miles a day, depending upon which hike we're taking. Okay, you will need to be trained, and we do have training for you. Okay, I didn't mention this before, but I lead AdventureFIT, I really created AdventureFIT, which is a course and a program that you can follow that will get you in literally AdventureFIT shape in about 3 months. So plan on starting to train for this, I would say April. Okay, so what else can I tell you? If you haven't been to Glacier, you're going to fall in love. Okay, and we're going to do llama trekking too. I've not done this before. Donna thought it was hysterically fun. So what it is you're really going to go for a walk with a llama. Like, I mean, that's what llama trekking is. Llamas carry any gear that we're taking, and you get to know them, and then we go for a hike. So you get to meet your own llama. So the details, we are going August 14th to 19th. I will send you, once you sign up, you will get a very good packing list. You will also get a very carefully curated list that tells you when to arrive, like the night before, when you'll be able to fly out. So we'll be there from the 14th to the 19th. It's $2,880. The what is included is your accommodations, your transportation while you're there, meals, about 5 breakfasts, about 6 lunches, evenings, we've said most meals are up to you. It's about 50-50. We'll have meals at the houses, and then we'll also go out a couple of times. So the meals at the houses are completely covered. Your guides are completely covered. It's Donna and I. There's no tips. There's nothing like that that you have to worry about. Your llamas are included. That's not on this list, but your llamas are included. Also, what's not included, airfare, the first night stay over in Kalispell. And then if we have llama guide tips, which are not going to be much, you tip your llama guides. This is something different. I haven't done this before, but because Glacier is very popular and it's actually an expensive place to book, I'm giving a discount for people who sign up early. So you get a discount of 10% if you pay in full before February 15th. On this trip, I think we have room for 7 people, and we are at 4 people left. So you've got 4 people left. If you've got questions, get on my calendar, or, you know, if you drop me an email. I will just say one thing about Glacier. Glacier is a once in a lifetime, you got to do. And it's one of those places that I have gone back numerous times because it's stunning. It's diverse. Like, I have been in Glacier when I went from high on the mountain where it's like barren and just like as far as you can see, it's rocky, and you're still seeing snow during August in certain areas, to down into areas that are lush and just slightly rolling hills. It's just beautiful. It's a really nice park. Okay, that's Glacier. Your next park is with me again, and this is the Smoky Mountains. Honestly, if nobody comes on this trip, which is not going to happen because I've already got people signed up, I'd still be going. I go to the Smokies a lot, every chance I get. It is my soul home, and it is one of the most majestic places I've ever been. It's not like Glacier. Glacier is like those big, sharp, high mountains, right? Like sharp rocks and high mountains. The Smokies are very, very, very old mountains. And so they're like worn down and soft and rolling and smooth. And you'll know you did something hard when you hike to the top of one. Okay. This is a walk in the park. And it's also, I mean, it's a good solid, you know, you did something and you want to train for this trip. Okay. This is one of those trips, and like Glacier too, this is one of those trips where we will always have options where you can do to the level you're comfortable. And I'll give you a for instance. Last year in Glacier, I'm sorry, Smoky Mountains, last year in Smoky Mountains, we had 11 women. We went out there, we did lots of hiking, we did lots of play on the river, we had a ball. The last day, I mean, there were some tired legs, okay? So the last day, we had originally planned to do Charlie's Bunion, which is it's an 8-mile out and back. 8 miles, how hard could it be? I've done it. It's a little bit of work, okay? So what we did was we split into two groups, and we've got a co-guide on this one too, split into 2 groups. Those people who really just didn't feel like, you know, busting their butts that last day went with me. We went up to one of the balds, which is the very top of these mountains. They call them balds because they're oftentimes they're rocky and they're open. So we went up to the top of this bald. We got to see stuff that I had never seen before. It was this end of the summer. Actually, I'm wrong. It was the beginning of the fall, and there were still like wildflowers and butterflies and everything. It was so beautiful. And then those people who wanted to go out and like really push themselves the last day went out and did Charlie's Bunion. And it was a push. They all did it. Everybody was excited and happy. That's the way I like to lead a trip, where you have options and you get to push yourself to the limit you want to go. So this year, Smoky Mountains, we're going for the fall colors. And the fall colors, if you haven't seen it before, like blow you away beautiful. Blow you away beautiful. And so we'll be there at the end of October, the 22nd to the 27th of October. The weather in the Smokies, it's still warm enough to play on the rivers. it's cool enough that if you're like me and you come from the South, you will not be dying. Okay. It's cool. It's pleasant. The weather is always like, I mean, really always nice. I'm biased because I love this area so much, but it's always been wonderful when I'm there. So what we'll be doing is, here's a little story about, why I go back again and again and again. But basically the bottom line is this area calls to my soul like nothing else. And it is so beautiful. And I have women who come back again and again and again. And if you've read my book, I didn't tell anybody this last night, but if you've read my book, Fit is Freedom, Fit, Active, and Ageless for Life, the very beginning of the book comes from a trip that I took to the Smokies with a group of women from Fit is Freedom. And that's how all of these retreats, these adventure retreats, were born. We were looking for a way to kind of push ourselves. We'd been working hard for several months, and we were looking for a way to push ourselves a little bit. And I said, who wants to go with me to the Smoky Mountains? And everybody's like, and then all of a sudden they're like, wait, what did we just sign up for? Well, what they signed up for is what you're going to get to do. So we will hike the Great Smoky National Park. We will hike a little bit of the Appalachian Trail. We will hike several parts of the Smoky, of the Great Smoky National Park. We will have a day on the river where you have choices. If we're doing something I've never done before, which is if you want to go fly fishing, you get to go fly fishing. So the Nantahala River, which is the river that will, sorry about that, which is the river that will be staying, we'll be staying in the Nantahala Gorge, is, it's a dam release river. So at night, there's all these little pools where the fish hang out. And then during the day, mid-morning, they start releasing the river. And then that's when people start doing rafting and kayaking and stuff like that on the river. So fly fishing, pools, fish are waiting for you. They are very respectful of the fish. Once a fish is caught, it is, shown to you very quickly, and it goes right back into the water. You don't get to eat those fish. But it's the guides that we use for fly fishing are the same company that we use for rafting and kayaking, and they're stellar. They're so good. All right, so let's see. If you're into rafting or kayaking or duckies, this is a river for rafting. It's a river for duckies. If you don't know duckies are like a big inflatable kayak or a small inflatable raft. And you can be 2 people in a ducky or 1. You can maneuver it yourself. And we'll have also a guide on the raft with us. So it's your choice, whatever you want to do. They have splash jackets, they have waterproof or wetsuits, they have shoes. I mean, you'll be comfortable. You will not be cold. People are always like, oh my gosh, am I going to be cold? Nope. Once you get rolling, you're fine. Okay. So the details. This is Deep Creek. That's one of the hikes that we do early on to get warmed up to go do some of the other hikes in the mountains. So flights. Let me tell you what's included first. Breakfast throughout. We're renting a house. Okay, you're going to be staying in a house with us in the gorge, which is the Nantahala Gorge, which is Nantahala means land of the noonday sun. So where that name comes from are the Indians that lived there. But as the sun comes up and gets right above, it just shines down in the gorge. I'm getting chill bumps. Really beautiful. So the house that we're staying at is, I like to say it's unique. Okay, it's not a luxury accommodation, but it's plenty fine. Okay, nobody's going to be hurting. The beds are awesome. We have a hot tub. We will have a masseuse there. We have a sauna. And the only reason I say the place is unique is because it's on 3 levels, and it's not luxurious, but it is totally fine. I promise. Nobody has a problem with this house. We love it. So it includes your massage. It includes yoga. I have a friend out there who teaches yoga, and he is going to be leading us in yoga. And he's a very special guy. So you'll fall in love with him. He's really good. It includes all your activities. So either your fly fishing, your river gear, transportation during the trip, guides, Jamie and I. And then what it doesn't include are your flights into Asheville. If you've got, we've got hotel early checkout, check-in. What that means is that some people stay over and go to Asheville. They go to the Biltmore. They do other things. So I'll talk about that in just a second. I think one of your meals is not included. Alcohol at meals is not included, but there will be wine and beer at the house if you'd like that. Massage gratuity is not included, and then basically personal expenses. So coming back to staying late, or let me come back to transportation first. A lot of people drive. I drive out there. So from Houston, Texas, it takes me about 14 hours. So, you know, it's a good trip to stay over somewhere. But once you get there, because so many people drive, they'll stay and go check out other areas that are there, other things that are there. If people are flying back out of Asheville, last year we had a couple of people who did like a waterfall tour on the way out. So there's a lot of opportunities and options. This trip is $21.50 if you're sharing a room, you have your own bed, or it's $25.50 if you want a single room. Okay, there are only 2 single rooms. I think both of them are still available. We can take up to 11 women, and right now we have space for about, I think we've got 7 spots left. If you come on this trip, you are going to, well, you're going to get to go somewhere I love the most, but you're also just going to see something that you'll see places in the Smoky Mountains that most people never see, and you'll see the fall colors, which very few people get to see and everybody wants to see. So that's the Smoky Mountains. And next we have Costa Rica. So Costa Rica is one of those places that, so you're going to see a theme here. I take people back, or I take people to the places I love to go back to. It's the places that I know how to navigate well. And it's the places that I've fallen in love with. So I've been going to Costa Rica for almost 40 years. Almost 40 years. And one of the interesting things about Costa Rica is it really hasn't changed that much. I mean, it's grown up a little bit, but the people who live there, they call themselves Ticos. They're still just as wonderful and giving and so much fun. The country is stunning. You're going to get to see a part of the country that most people don't see. So when you fly in, a lot of people, they fly in, they head to the coast, So, you know, it's either the Caribbean or over to the Pacific, and that's where they stay. We fly in and we stay in the corridor, the central corridor. And in that central corridor is the Pacari River, which is a wild and scenic river in Costa Rica. It's called, I think they call it like the top 3 rivers to raft in the world. It is beautiful. We go to Arenal volcano, which is still an active volcano. So you'll see, like when we're there, you're going to see the steam rising off the volcano. Don't worry about it. They know how to tell if that volcano is going to explode again. So we'd know far ahead before that happens. We use a tour guide or a tour guide company that is based there. I have been using them for years. They're amazing. That's all I can say. So there's a lot of activity in this trip. You can choose to do what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Okay. So let me just show you a little bit about, well, let me show you one thing. This picture down here is where we stay on the Pacari River. We are staying in a jungle lodge. So for years we've stayed there, and we've stayed in what I refer to as the tree houses, which they were all these separate little rooms up in the trees and looking out over the river. Because I've been doing business with them for so long, they have started moving us over to the new lodges. And the new lodges are as beautiful, but a lot more upscale. So we're staying in an upscale area. Now, upscale, just so you know, the rooms don't have electricity. Okay, this is not a trip to bring your hairdryer on. No electricity in the rooms, but you know, everybody knows this going in because you're going to get this really good packing list, and you're going to bring a headlamp. There is electricity in the palapa, or the lodge right here that looks out over, and they cook for us. They cook for us really well. You will eat so well in Costa Rica that I've had people again and again and again think that they were going to gain weight by the time they got back, and everybody comes back a little bit trimmer because this is a very active trip. That said, once again, if there are things that you want to bow out of, like right here, Jordan is Jordan is upside down in the Tarzan swing. If you want to bow out of the Tarzan swing, you can. Okay. If you get on the zip line and after three lines, you're like, you know what, this is not my gig, you can get off. You can make choices. Okay. So just want you to know that there are choices to be made, and this is the trip to do it with. In here, this is a waterfall that we will probably go to. Actually, we will definitely go here because I loved it so much last year. And as you hike up above this waterfall, you will smell the sulfur springs. You will see like the water bubbling up where the sulfur hot springs are coming up. I mean, it's really extraordinary. This itinerary is not exactly what we're going to do. Okay. And I just want you to know that because it depends on our hotels when we get our hotels, but it's going to give you a rough idea of what we are going to do. So when we arrive in San Jose, once again, this one is dependent upon airfare. If we can arrive in San Jose as a group early, then they'll pick us up and take us immediately to Turrialba. And Turrialba is our home base. If it's one of those situations like we just had this last year where airfare was, all the airlines were coming in late, we spent the night in San Jose, had this fabulous dinner. I can tell you this, San Jose is the capital of Costa Rica. It is the food, like I like to eat, the food where we stay in that area is foodie central. It is so good. So there's always great food to eat. There's always interesting things to see. Our guides will pick us up at either the airport or at the hotel. And at that point, they've got us for the whole time. They're doing all the transportation. We don't have to do anything, but our fun, our adventures. So day 2, instead of the Turrialba volcano, I am pretty sure what we're going to do is we're going to do some rappelling. If you've never done it, they call it canyoneering. I call it rappelling. Basically what you're doing is, and don't worry, I've done it numerous times. It sounds crazy, but it's super fun. And we've got probably 5 guides there taking care of us. You get in a harness, you go down these small little waterfalls, and then when you get to the bottom, you jump in into the water, and then you go to the next waterfall. It's a blast. That first step is kind of a doozy, but after that, you'll be like, I am totally hooked. So we'll do some canyoneering, and then we're going to raft into the jungle lodge that I was talking about. Along the way, we're going to stop on the side of the river because a large portion of the Pacari Valley, the gorge, is settled. I don't think it's really owned, but it's settled by indigenous people. So there will be somebody from the village who will come down and get us. They'll take us up. You'll get to meet. Like, this is a really small village, so there's maybe I don't remember the exact number, but about 60 people who live there. So you get to meet the people who live there. The kids have been, making jewelry, so you can get some jewelry if you want. And the hike is through. It doesn't feel like a jungle. It feels more like a wooded area where you hear and see so much of Costa Rica. And I'm just going to say, I'll stop for a second and tell you, Costa Rica is like teeming with wildlife. You will see sloths. You will see monkeys. You will see howler monkeys. You will see otters. You will see macaws and toucans and flowers and trees. And I mean, it's magical. And for those of you who are thinking, ooh, what's the mosquitoes like? The bugs just really aren't there. Okay. Like, people do not believe me, but the bugs really aren't there. I don't think I've ever put on bug spray in my entire life going to Costa Rica. So a little bit more on the coast, a little bit more on the Caribbean coast, but where we are, it's just perfect. So we'll raft in, we'll do the indigenous hike. We will go to our jungle lodges. If you want to zip line on day 2 or do the Tarzan swing, you're totally welcome to. We did a hike last year that I'd never done before. At the end of the day, we hiked into this area that is not seen. So if you saw, so now I say that if you saw that picture of all of us in the water for the invitation to this trip, that was this little hidden waterfall off the beaten path. No one was there. No one was around. We just loved that. So that was a super, super hike. Then we raft out and we head up to Arenal. In Arenal, we will hike up the Arenal volcano. We will hike at or around the volcano. We will hike to Rio Celeste National Park. You're going to get to stop and see the most astonishing tree I've ever seen in my life. Like literally, you think a tree, Kelly? The tree, if you can see well, you can't see my house. The tree is the size of, I'm gonna make something up, 20 by 20 foot at the bottom, maybe 30 by 30 at the bottom. And they call it the tree of life. And it's so beautiful. And there's only a few of them around. So we'll stay in Arenal. We stay at a very nice hotel up there and air conditioning, like cushy. And then they will take us back. And on day 8, we fly home. Or if anybody's staying over, we stay in San Jose for the evening and then we come home. All right. So I know you can't ask me questions, but if you have questions, once again, jump on my calendar. I guess you should know how much it costs, right? Sorry about that. The cost on the trip is $28.85. You notice that we try and keep all these trips as reasonable as we possibly can. And that is for a couple of reasons. One reason is I want people to get to go. Absolutely, unequivocally, I want people to get to go. The other reason is that a lot of people go on 2 or 3 of these trips a year with me. So, we don't want to break the bank, but we want to have a lot of fun. In here, all accommodations are included unless we stay in San Jose, okay? Staying in San Jose, the hotel that we stay at is this, it's an old plantation, but not like you would think in the South. It's like this rambling little pieces of rooms and gardens and like offshoots, and it's a funky hotel, quite frankly. And it's not expensive. It's breakfast included. It's like $45 a night, somewhere around there. Don't hold me to it because, prices vary, but roughly like that. So accommodations, transportation. Once they pick us up, we are in the hands of our guides, and they are awesome sauce. Most meals, except outside of San Jose, all gear, all instruction, all handled. So they've got us. What's not included is your airfare. Guide tips, okay? Guide tips, I always suggest somewhere between 12 and 15%. You will want to take these guys home with you at the end, so don't worry about it. They're well worth their whatever we pay them, and some meals, okay? There you go. And our guides were so awesome last year that we actually didn't see a sloth anywhere we went, right? We were all like, no sloths. Normally you do. So they went out, found a place where a sloth was hanging out, went and got us, put us all in the van, and took us there so that we could all see a sloth. So it was fun. Okay, that's Costa Rica. A couple of things to know is on this catalog, all of these links should be clickable. If you want to RSVP sooner than later. You don't want to wait because we do fill up. And a couple of other things. I'm not gonna do a big promotion right now, but I have a big event coming up on January 10th. There's 2 time options. This is going to be free this time. It'll be paid the rest of the year, but I'd love everybody who's trying to make something happen in January to join me for Fit is Your Superpower. And then one other commercial in March. For those people who happen to be in Houston or want to come to Houston, we have the March Women's Wellness Expo. And it's myself, and if you know Kate Champion, Kate's been on my podcast with me several times. We've become very good friends, and we're putting this on together. So that's what's going on, and maybe a little teaser for 2025. We're looking at Ecuador and the Galapagos. So if you've got any questions, you can't really ask me right now since you're on video, but you can certainly send me a text. In fact, I don't know if you can see the chat, but if you see the chat and you don't have my phone number already, there's my phone number. If you don't have my phone number, get on my calendar if you have a question. If you know you're ready, sign up, because people, like this morning, my phone has been ringing all morning with people signing up. So yep, sign up. All right, any other questions? I am going to let you go. I would very, 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 very gratefully have you join us. These trips are a passion project of mine. They are. They have become one of my one of the things that I do in life, because I love, love, love to see what happens when someone pushes themselves a little bit and we never come back to the person we were before. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking your time to be with me. And I will see you, hopefully, on one of these adventures. Take care. Bye-bye now.